Yeah, we're going to get into a couple topics today. First, I want to start off, obviously, with big shout out to you guys for rocking with your boy Jay. It's been a wonderful, wonderful off season, but now we've got to get back to it, right? We got to get back to it. We got to start with these finals, obviously, get back into some baseball, and then we'll be focusing on getting ready for the NFL season. With that said, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that thumbs up, and of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you do subscribe. Got a lot to talk about today, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Jefferson, everybody. Justin Jefferson signs historic deal. I wanted to start off here, and we'll go ahead and get this up on the screen here for you guys. Justin Jefferson secures 4-year, $140 million deal, and we'll get into the video.
4 years, 140 million. That's 35 million a year, which is $1 million more a year than Nick Bosa, who until just now was the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. He got his deal done last late August, early September, I believe. Same agent, incidentally, Brian Aberald, who also did the Joe Burrow deal, so he's on a roll. But yeah, I think that now you look at this as the top, right? If you're CeeDee Lamb, realistically, you feel like you probably slot in right behind this number, right? Like how close to 35 can you get? And it should be pretty simple at this point for the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb to reach some kind of deal. Now, we know in the past, Cowboys have fought with players about structure on some of their bigger deals, so that we have to see what this looks like with the Vikings and whether they can work off of that. But it's the domino that a lot of people have been waiting to see fall in the wide receiver market. Because it represents likely the very top. If you do the math,
and here's, I think this is the reality of it. When you look at what Justin Jefferson was able to achieve, and as far as his talent and skill level, the reality is he's worth that amount of money. Now, the real question comes into play is at the same time, you've got the quarterback situation with the Vikings right now. Are they really going to be able to, keep that consistency with the offense with paying him that much money? I think there's going to be some kind of, potential shortcoming that they do have to deal with moving forward. And that's not to say that Justin Jefferson isn't worth that amount of money, because we know that he is. But I do think there's a lot that's going to be left on the table when it comes to who they're going to have to utilize in regards to other talent on the team. And also where that's gonna hurt them, And if Justin Jefferson is not able to stay healthy, that could be a huge blow when they're spending so much money for him. I'm just gonna leave that there before we get into the comment section with you guys. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. Shout out to you, ladies and gentlemen. Purple in the house. What's up, Purple? What's going on with you, Tactical? Jefferson got the bag. Purple says, "I am so ready for football." I agree. I'm ready. It feels like it's been too long. Tech 713, what up, yo? Tactical in the house. What up, man? Tony, what's going on, bro? How you doing? So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this deal here with Jefferson, and go ahead and break it down. Says the deal, which was negotiated by WME Football, includes $88.743 million due at signing. The Vikings announced Monday morning that Jefferson agreed to an extension that runs through the 2028 season, but did not disclose financial terms. The time has finally come. The deal I've been waiting for since I was a little kid, Jefferson said in a video posted to Instagram. Being doubted my whole career, not being highly recruited, not being the first receiver off the draft board. The whole journey wasn't easy for me to be given a gift to play football at the highest level. It's a blessing. It's an honor. Without a doubt. And what's really amazing is we see these kind of situations where certain individuals and certain wide receivers will get paid tons of money. And we hope, right? We hope that obviously they're able to go out there and not only perform on the field, but actually go out there and perform in a world where, they understand how to manage their money and they don't lose it. Right now I'm talking about Antonio Brown. Yes, I am talking about that man, because unfortunately he has went down a ridiculous path and he's had the issues that he has, and we can make another video about that later. But my point is, when you start getting this kind of money and you really haven't been prepared for it, and we've seen this in history from multiple different players, it is a dream come true. But I think it's more so about what happens off the field that really helps them understand as far as what needs to be done and how successful they're going to be moving forward as the years come. So, is it a lot of money? Sure, it's a hell of a lot of money. We consider this to be quarterback money. Shout out to you, Tyrone. Yeah, man. We consider this to be quarterback money. And when you've got wide receivers out there getting $140 million, especially over the amount of time, I think, you're not only saying, hey, you're probably one of the greatest in the game, but you're going to be one of the greatest in the foreseeable future. And, hey, we understand that Jefferson has the talent. We also understand that he can lead his team to victory, but at the same time, it's a team effort. Are the Vikings going to be able to do much this year? That's a whole other conversation. But we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. As it says, Vikings owners Mark and Zygi Wilf said in a statement that Jefferson has earned this contract and we are thrilled. He will remain a Minnesota Viking for a very long time. From the moment I arrived in Minnesota, Justin has consistently proven to be one of the best players in the NFL on and off the field, and we are excited about having him as a cornerstone of our team for a long time to come. Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah said, he is a living embodiment of our culture with his joyful dedication to process and our goals. We couldn't be more excited for Justin and his family. Jefferson also thanks his parents, his brothers, his agent, and the Vikings front office, staff, coaches, fans, and the Instagram video. And we'll finish it up with y'all set the tone, y'all set the mood, y'all set the energy, Jefferson said in the video. And I'm definitely excited to set the energy for 5 more years. This is the start of it, but we ain't done yet. Just wait. So there you go. I'm excited to see how it goes for Jefferson and the Vikings. It's really going to be interesting to see, what they're able to do this coming season. We're going to break down all the teams starting in July. For those who are new, for those who don't really know how we normally do it, but I start breaking everything down as far as all the teams in July. We do all 32 teams in 31 days. So that will be in July. We'll break down each and every team, players, stats, what we're looking forward to, the good, the bad, all that good stuff. Make sure you're here for it. And we'll talk about that in July. But next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have the finals, the NBA finals coming up. And I'm really excited for it, right? We got the finals on Thursday. I will be streaming the finals in its entirety. I will not miss it. It'll be fun. Make sure you're here for that as well. And I want to get started with this because I do think that this is also going to be something that is really going to be glanced over. I think it's going to be something that's glanced over and something that's really not going to be, paid too much attention to until we get to that point. But I will say this man, Kyrie Irving, all the talk about, the issues that he had in the past, all the talk about, whether or not he was still going to be able to compete at an elite level, playing with the Celtics, playing with the Nets, obviously now with the Mavericks. I do think that this is his time to shine, and it's kind of weird because I've seen this meme that had, a picture of, for those who know, it's the Wolverine meme where he's like laying on the bed, he's looking at the picture, and it's obviously Kyrie. It really shows that if you're able to not only stay consistent, but if you're able to just go out there and keep your mindset, keep your focus, and fight through all the battles and stay consistent, that you can go out there and be great and prove everybody wrong. And I think Kyrie Irving is going to be that individual that basically shows us in these finals that he may be that factor to push the Mavs over that edge to another potential championship. Now, that's not to say, right? That's not to say that the Celtics don't have their own weapons, because they surely do. And I love the Celtics. I was actually leaning towards the Celtics. I'm still going to have to digest this before we get into the predictions and all that stuff, which we'll do on Wednesday. But I do think that Kyrie Irving is going to be the X factor when it comes to the Mavs actually winning. We know what Luka can do. We understand, obviously, what that team as a whole can do and what they're willing to put everything on the line. But I think Kyrie is going to be, the one who's actually going to have the exceptional game and be that person to really step up and help Luka, because it's not going to be easy going up against Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Derek White. It's going to be very, very difficult to stop this onslaught of the Celtics team that we've come to know and love. So at the end of the day, I think the reality is the Mavericks are going to have to find a way to utilize Luka and utilize Kyrie to the point where they're putting up at least 30 each. And then obviously you got your role players stepping in. But I bring up Kyrie as an individual specifically because I think that he's going to have to be the one that rally the troops the most. He has the experience. He's been here. And I think that's going to be the factor the most of why he's going to have to bring the leadership and put that to the table when it comes to being in these finals. He's going to know, how to keep the focus. He's going to know how to be in that moment, how to fight through the adversity and get to that, that end of the finish line. And it's going to be good finals. It's going to be a good finals. I'm excited to see, what both teams can do. Like I said, I'm kind of leaning towards the Celtics, but we're going to get to the predictions and all that kind of stuff coming up on Wednesday for the final. Shout out to you, Tyrone. Says, don't bet your favorite dollars against Kyrie. Listen, there's going to be a lot of money on these NBA finals. That is 100% without a doubt. And I can tell you this, at the end of the day, I think it's going to go to 7. I really do. I think it's going to go to 7. Like, I'm not finished with my analysis yet, which, like I said, we'll go through on Wednesday. But I think it's going to go to 7. I don't think it's going to be a situation where it's a sweep at all or 4-1, nothing like that. I think it's going to go a full 7 and may the best team win. But yeah, we'll break it all down. We'll break it all down. Kyrie is one of the great ones. He is. And I think a lot of people kind of, I won't say sleep on Kyrie, but they kind of just, don't really, I'll say care for him too much, because of the antics and the things that happen and, and some of his, beliefs and views and things like that. But when it comes to his play on the court, he's undeniably one of the greatest ball handlers out there. The man can shoot. There's not many people that can finish at his elite level. And at the end of the day, I think that Kyrie's definitely one of the best in what he does for sure. So, yeah, we'll definitely get into the predictions on Wednesday. Shout out to you, Tactical. Says I'm feeling the Mavs on this one. It's really, listen, right now it's 50-50 for me. Like 51-49. I'm leaning, like I said, I'm leaning towards the Celtics, but I'm just not there yet completely. I'll have the whole thing for you guys on Wednesday. We'll chop it up for sure. But yeah, Kyrie Irving, I think he's definitely going to be an X factor, and we'll get into predictions for these Mavs and these Celtics NBA Finals on Thursday or Wednesday. I'm sorry, finals are on Thursday. So yeah, next up, ladies and gentlemen, next up, Caitlin Clark, who I do want to address. And I think it's kind of wild for a couple of reasons. I think the Caitlin Clark drama is completely overhyped. And I'll tell you why. I think it's one of those situations where you have someone who's brought so much attention, someone who's brought so much energy and so much interest to this specific sport now, right? Many people did not give a damn about WNBA basketball. We just got to keep it real. We know the numbers weren't there. They could not fill a stadium to save their lives. And the reality is, we mostly gravitated towards women's college basketball, because it was better. It had more energy, more grit, more fight. And so now that obviously you have these individuals like Cardoso, Clark, Reese, you've got these individuals now who are bringing so much light to women's basketball, and it's now being shadowed in a negative fashion, as if we want to pit people against each other, and all this other kind of stuff. And we see it day in and day out, and we see it when players are getting bumped and fouled hard and all kinds of stuff. That's not what makes basketball great. What makes basketball great is two teams that are competing at an elite level that people enjoy to watch. You're not going to get views through hate. You're not going to get views through hard fouls. And I think that's the narrative right now. And it's really, I'm not going to say it's upsetting, but it's just stupid to me. It's stupid to me because I think at the end of the day, you're creating all this negative energy towards the game. And all what's going to happen is the person that is creating the views and creating all the hype and entertainment value right now is going to get hurt. And then what happens? Well, I'll tell you what happens. The people stop watching. The first class flights are now over, right? That cash infusion that you guys have gotten starts to dwindle off. And then you're waiting for the next person to step up who may or may not come, because there are talents, generational talents, and then there are people who can entertain. We see this throughout all different kind of sports. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, doesn't matter if it's football, boxing, MMA, whatever it is. There's certain individuals who will grasp people's attention, and you ride that wave. You don't destroy the wave, you ride it. You ride on it until obviously it crashes. And that's the reality of it. But I think they're going about it the wrong way. And it's really unfortunate because you would think at this point, if you have all eyes on you, you'd want to showcase a better product, a better environment for all the little boys and all the little girls to want to look up to you and want to follow you and to become something greater than what they probably see on social media and all the other garbage. But that's just my my take on it. My take on it. Some people are going to be like, well, Jay, the hard fouls and all that stuff that's in the NBA too. Like that's, the kids see all that too. I still think we do got to hold people accountable for what they do and what they're portraying to the children, right? Because that's what matters. That's who watches these individuals and actually looks up to them. As an adult, we are entertained by sports. We enjoy sports. We fall in love with the teams, the players, our favorite plays. I love some of the jerseys that I have, the memorabilia that I collect, the items that I purchased over the years. And I think at the end of the day, if players aren't held accountable for their actions and how they act and what they're portraying in sports, then what do the kids have to look up to? I mean, I could say that, the kids should be looking up to the parents, but that's just a different story. But if they're not looking up to you, they're looking up to someone else. And it's just the reality of it. So I think that Caitlin Clark's drama is success. Her problem is success. Because if you're able to come into a league that really wasn't making much money, if you're able to come into a league with players who are making pennies compared to their counterparts, I would say that you've come with a level of hate because of success, not because of your skill level, not because of your color, but because of the amount of money that you've got now that other people probably won't get. So for those who are still upset and mad and whatever and want to go that route about, what they believe is going on, it all comes down to dollars and cents, ladies and gentlemen. It all comes down to dollars and cents. That's just the reality of it. Just the reality of it. So yeah, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, shout out to Fred Lucky. What up, man? Says, what's up, bro? How you been? Thought I'd see you more. Yeah, we're getting to the finals, bro. We are getting into the finals soon. And that'll be Thursday. That'll be Thursday. Michael says, what's up, Jay? What up, Michael? Shout out to you, man. Sex013 says, jealous? Hey. Michael says, skill set is must to get that money. I agree, but that's not all, right? I think it boils down to this because at the end of the day, you can have I'm not gonna say mediocre. I'll say a decent skill set, but your entertainment value is much higher than everyone else's. And the person who has way better skill than you still can't generate the sales that you do because you're just that much personable. People like you more. This person could do all the good stuff, they can dunk, whatever. But because you can shoot and because you can put a smile on people's face or you can make them laugh more and you can sell more jerseys than this other person, you're going to get paid more money. And there's going to be people who hate you for it. That's the reality of it. That's in everything. It's not even just sports. You could work a regular 9 to 5 job. You go into this job, you go out there, you excel, you do great. You're making money, you're putting in the work, you're putting in the effort, you're giving 110%. You're getting the bonus checks, right? I'm just making up numbers now. Let's say you make the average person in the company is making $1,000 a week. And you just so happen to be that rock star in the company that's making your salary plus a bonus or a commission, and you're doing 5,000 a week. And you pull up in the nice car and they're driving the basic car and they're looking at you like, why couldn't that be me? We see it every day. We see it every day. So it's not about what most people think it is. It's about money. And that's the reality of it. Caitlin Clark is suffering from success. And that shit sucks. But that's a reality that some people need to understand. There it is. Timothy says, how is this going to affect T. Higgins and Jamar Chase for the Bengals? Shout out to you, bro. Well, I'll tell you this right now. I don't know if Joe Burrow is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be the guy this year. We have a lot to discuss when we get into all 32 teams in 31 days in July. We will break everything down that we need to for every team. But I'll tell you right now, because we haven't talked in a while, I'm not sure if Joe Burrow is going to be that quarterback. I think he had a great run. I think he did enough to get his money. But would I be wrong if I called him Glass Joe right now? Would you hate Jay if I called him Glass Joe until we get started with the season and I can see otherwise? Would he be able to make me a believer coming into this season, considering everything that's been going on with him and his health? Now, I'm not saying that he can't prove me wrong and that he won't be able to go out there and do what he needs to do. What I'm saying is he has yet to prove that he can get out of this slump that he's in, and we won't know that until next season. But I will say this, I think the team chemistry gives us kind of a entry level oversight to what could be potentially coming for sure. And that's something that I think we need to discuss and we need to talk about because at the end of the day, the Bengals as a whole definitely needs help. And nobody's really talking about it yet. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Michael says he needs milk and an offensive line. And not that super scent. You got to get that man that whole milk. Don't get him no 2%. See, that's the problem. They're drinking that soy milk, that oat milk, and what is the other one? What's the other one? It's another one. The almond milk. soy milk, oat milk, whatever it is, the 2%. That's the problem, right? These new kids are being raised off of that thin milk, that fake milk. You need that whole milk for your bones. You know, why is my favorite player getting injured every season now? Every 2 seconds he's injured. Well, because they're drinking the silk. You got to get these boys off the silk and get them the whole milk. I was raised off whole milk. That's why I can go out there and still ball, and I don't got to worry about my ankle breaking. Knock on wood. But I can go out there and not worry about the ankle breaking or me spraining the wrist or the thumb or anything. You got to get that whole milk in your life. And for the lactose intolerant people, you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. I'm just saying, I think at the end of the day, um, it's really unfortunate because obviously, you know, you don't want people to get injured. But I do think there's some kind of issue that has been going on over the past few years or maybe even decade. Um, in regards to players' bodies, you know, why they're getting injured and why it's so easy for them to get injured. And a lot of people like to blame things on the turf and stuff like that. But it just seems like there's way more injuries now and way more significant injuries now um, when players aren't getting hit that bad, right? What is all the safety protocols and all these changes that the NFL has made any better? How is it any better if players are still getting significant injuries? What is going on? Is it the training? Maybe they're not training enough. Maybe, you know, they're not putting in enough work. Maybe they're not going as hard as they used to. Who knows? There's a lot of different ways you can go about it. For sure. Uh says Carson wins route. Listen, I'm just saying, you know, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, and I think at the end of the day, if you know, these trainers and these athletic coaches and all these guys that work on these individuals' bodies and do all these things, and they can't help these guys from getting injured and you know being able to recover fairly fast and things like that. I think you know you may want to actually start looking at the diet. That may be something that's fairly important to look into. Listen, obviously, I'm not getting paid millions of dollars for this, but I'm pretty smart and can understand that things are changing as far as the physicality of players. And I'm sure you guys can see it too. So it's something to talk about, you know, something to research, something to digest, and you know, something to understand. Because I think, you know, at some point, if things keep going on the way that they're going, eventually the NFL will start to lose money. Because if your favorite player that just got paid $250 million is sitting on the bench all season, well, you're not going to want to show up to the damn game. You're not going to want to pay that $700 ticket price. I'll tell you that right now. If Josh Allen's not playing Bills football, guess what? You're probably not going to want to watch the Bills. If you're not seeing Tua out there throwing on the field, you're probably not going to want to watch the Dolphins play football. I mean, you may, you know, sit there and suffice to it because, all right, you know, Tyreek's playing and Waddle's playing or whatever. And if Patrick Mahomes isn't playing Chiefs football, are they going to fill the stadium? So I think, you know, there's a lot that goes into that. I think there's a lot that goes into that for sure. For sure. So yeah, side note, as we veered off a little bit into that. Like I said, we're doing 32 teams in 31 days. That comes in July. I will be doing the NBA Finals, which starts on Thursday. We're back at it, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at it strong. Back at it strong. I'm excited to be back. Just actually came off vacation. Just came off vacation. It was a fun time. So glad to be back and got some good sun. Got my feet in the sand. Really enjoyed myself, enjoyed the family and all that good stuff. It was wonderful. Um, It's been great. It's been really great. So I'm glad to be back. Shout out to you guys. Timothy says Celtics in 7. Listen, I'm not even going to deny you. I do think that it's going to go 7 games. I think at the end of the day, it's going to go down to all seven, and it's going to be a battle for sure. It's definitely going to be a battle. It's definitely going to be one of those situations where you know, you're going to probably have games where it's down to 2 points. We go into overtime. Everyone's on the edge of their seat. I'm excited for that. I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm excited for it, without a doubt. Shout out to Tech713. Let's go. Send in a $4.99 super chat. Shout out to you, Tech713. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the $5 love. Let's go. Tactical says, Jay, are the Bills doing a small rebuild that you can see locally? I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to get into it, but you know what? I got time. I'm chilling with y'all today. I got time before I got to run my errands. All right, listen. So this is where I'm at right now. The issue that I have the most right now with the Buffalo Bills is the fact that nobody wants to call this what it is. Nobody wants to say that the window is closed, right? We get the, oh, Shakir, Cook, Milano's coming back. Von Miller, he should be okay and ready to go. We should be fine next season. And to a certain degree, I agree. I'm okay with that. But I think the big problem is this. When you start to look at the talent that's left on the team and who they're going to be relying on moving forward, you start to really sit back and say, okay, where's the real chemistry coming from? Right? I'm going to give Joe Brady the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, you're now going to have a full season to where you can game plan for, but you don't have the same players that you had last year. So you don't know who really meshes the best in what scenario. You don't know who's going to be that individual that can rally the troops in a situation when they need to, unless you're relying on Josh Allen to be that leader, who he should be now. And I say that with the utmost respect of Josh Allen because I do love the guy. But I'm not sure if Allen is the leader of the Bills yet. We know he's the superstar quarterback, the amazing guy with the great arm and the talent. But is he going to be the leader, or is he going to be the individual that we know that after he throws a damn interception, he walks off the field with the deer in the headlights look? I would, if you're going to throw an interception, Allen, I would rather you walk off the field with pride, like, yeah, I did it, but I'm going to make up for it when I get back on the field. That shows leadership. That shows ambition. That shows that I'm going to take over this team and will them to a victory. And I think that's the biggest problem for me right now. The chemistry and understanding whether or not Josh Allen is going to be the one who's going to be able to step up and lead what he has now to a victory. Because I'll tell you this, and some people will get mad at me for saying this. This will be the year that Josh Allen is the most scrutinized. Forget all the interception garbage and all that stuff, and he's running too much, and it's not going to last. This will be the year that Allen gets scrutinized the most. Because we've talked about this before. Allen hasn't really had an injury yet. He had the elbow situation and he fought through it. But Allen really hasn't had an injury yet. So he's going to be playing as hard as he can, and he's going to be putting it all out there because I'm not sure if he has people that he's actually going to think that's reliable yet. obviously, they're doing training and stuff like that. And, they're going to build up a solid game plan, hopefully coming into the season. But when it's actually in motion and when these games are going on and he's trying to go through his progressions and find the right person to get the ball to that he can actually believe in, and he can't find that shit, and he's got to take off running, we're probably going to see a lot of that because the chemistry is not going to be there yet in those type moments and in game time decisions. So that's why I say he's going to be heavily scrutinized this year. And there's going to be a lot that goes into that. And it's going to really suck. It really is. This is like one time where I can probably say that I really don't know what's going to happen with the Bills this season. Because for the past 6 years, I've kind of had an idea. This year, I don't know. I really don't. As much as we get into Keon Coleman and how he's personable and how he's great and the fans love him and all that kind of stuff, we see that time and time again. We've never had that problem with players. The majority of the players that come to the Bills are Bills Mafia for life. That's how it goes. But when it comes to stepping out on that field and becoming great and learning how to overcome adversity and actually going out there and being a championship winner, becoming legendary, that's the difference. That's the difference. But yeah, we got time. We'll get into all that next month. We'll break everything down. You guys know how we do. It's tough. It's tough. And it's a lot. But you guys know I'm overly critical. I I dig deep sometimes, and it's really unfortunate because I have to sit back after I make these videos and everything that I look over and my obviously opinion. And I stand on that. I believe in it. And you guys know I call a lot of all these games, unbiased. But the Bills have been in my heart for a long time. So when I got to be, hard and tough on certain individuals and talk about how bad things are going, I'm giving it to you as real as I can. And that's it. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it is lunchtime. Hope you are getting yourself some good food out there in the real world. And hey, we still got some time. So I've been on my green tea thing lately too. I don't know. I rock with these Arizonas. They're bad for you. I know. Jay, it's bad for you. But I just love it. Green tea with the ginseng and the honey. It's a lot of sugar. It's a lot. It's like 84%. It's a lot of sugar, yo. Green tea's always got a bunch of sugar, though. You guys know how it goes. So yeah. As far as the finals, we'll get into that. Baseball's in full swing. We'll do the World Series. We'll get into that as well. And obviously, got training coming up. I wanted to try and get into the Bills camp. I'm trying to see how that's supposed to go. Maybe I'll pop down there, see what happens, figure it out. In the meantime, everybody, much love to the Wrench Game, much love to the family, all the listeners, all the watchers. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Excited to be back. We'll get into the finals coming up here. I'm back. So you guys see me almost every day for the next. Well, you'll see me every day. We'll figure it out. All right, y'all. Have a good Monday. Peace out.